What's good, everyone? Welcome back to another video. If you don't know who I am, that means you're new. I'm Mark. What's good with y'all? And of course, as soon as I start the video, you gotta come out. Of course, whatever. I'm gonna ignore that. So, this video's topic, all right, is gonna be about the Desert Eagle or the Deagle. Before y'all shit yourselves, no, I do not have one. All right, it's gonna be just from the basic common sense standpoint of whether it would be good for self defense or not. Now, let me go into a tiny bit of history. The Desert Eagle, if I'm not mistaken, the first or the earliest model that I can at least find out about is the Mark One Desert Eagle that's in 357. Now, Desert Eagles, it's much like the 1911, it's a platform. So there are multiple calibers that a Desert Eagle can be, and the most common are 50 AE and 44 Magnum. AE is Action Express. Uh, However, there are also some chambered in 357 Magnum. I actually just saw one not too long ago that's chambered in 45, but I'll be honest, just because it has the platform, I don't know if I can consider it a true Desert Eagle just because it's a platform and whatever. I'm not going to get into that. All right. My point, though, is that with the 357 Magnum Desert Eagle, you get about 9 rounds. With the 44 Magnum, you get about 8. And then with the 50 AE, you get about 7. So, with that being the case, I can flat out tell you the capacity for all of them isn't necessarily the best, although they are some pretty hefty rounds. I will point out the fact that it is still a pistol round. So while, yes, it does have, nice little bit of weight to it, it's probably going to have some good punch to it, it still isn't going to do the damage a rifle round would do. So I can say that, know that that's obviously going to be a fair factor there. But the low capacity along with that isn't a compliment. I will say that. Now I'm not shitting on the Desert Eagle. I love the platform. I think it's a gorgeous gun. Don't get me wrong by any standards. Standards. Don't get me wrong by any standard. Let me see here. Sorry, I just got a comment from one of y'all and wanted to try reading it, but also it's like, eh. So as I was getting at, with that low of a capacity, it's not doing the biggest favor. All right. It's not something like, a shotgun, like it's not something like 12 gauge where it's like the power of the round really makes up for the low capacity. That's not the case here, so with that being, something to keep in mind, I just want y'all to remember that as I run through these situations. I'm going to put it through the 4 situations, of course, because finally we're back at a situation where we can talk about 4 and not just 3. I don't know if y'all noticed, but a lot of recent videos I've been having to talk about, oh yeah, the 3 situations, because you can't conceal carry a lot of the things I've been talking about. I've been talking about rifles recently. So let's go and get into it. Home defense, the low capacity, I'm not a fan of. I will say with the higher pressured rounds like 44 Magnum, 50 AE, oh, dude, have fun shooting those inside, man. Your eardrums are going to be blown out. It's not going to be fun for you at all. While if you are able to hit your target, I doubt you're going to be able to get a quick shot back on target after you do hit it. It's not looking too good. I will say that. If I had it to pick a Desert Eagle for home defense, but I got to choose the caliber, I would probably pick the 357 because I at least get 9 rounds in it, So, with that being the case, it's not looking too great for home defense. Now, something I do want to point out because I feel like people think, oh, he doesn't own a Desert Eagle, he doesn't know anything about them. What I can tell you, all right, as I mentioned before, if I'm not mistaken, the earliest model I know of, at least, is the Mark One that's chambered in 357 Magnum. The Desert Eagle was created by Magnum Research Institute, I believe, is what the I stands for. It might be Industries, I don't know, but I know it's Magnum Research. Pretty like 99% sure on that. I just read the name. If I'm fucking it up, that's just because I'm dumb sometimes. So I just want y'all to understand I do have some level of knowledge on it. I'm not just speaking as, oh yeah, well, he's just shitting on it. That's not the case here at all. So I will say for home defense, it's not looking too good. Concealed carry. I don't know if y'all ever held a Desert Eagle, but for a pistol, it's got some weight to it. It's got a good amount of weight to it. We can all agree there. you're gonna have to, have that thing pretty damn tight on you to not have your pants fall down while you're carrying it. So there's that. It's a pretty big gun, so concealability isn't the easiest as far as that goes. The low capacity isn't great either. Now, I will say most situations outside of the home, there is a rule of threes. That's generally what happens, but you want to be prepared for in case you're not in a rule of threes situation. If y'all don't know what the rule of threes are, I've said it in multiple other videos. Go and check out my other videos. Y'all will know what I'm talking about. So it's not looking too good for concealed carry either. I will openly say that. Uh, Now, if you do get, oh, sorry, something I forgot about home defense too is that if you miss, there, with how beefy those rounds are, there is a pretty good chance of them going through the walls, possibly hitting someone else. Same goes for concealed carry. That let's say even you hit your target, there's still a pretty good chance of over penetration, my man. That's just how it works, dude. I don't know what else to tell you. You want to work with some big rounds, you're going to deal with some big consequences, which involves over penetration, my friend. So that's something, you're making the trade off here. You make your choices, bruh. You do you, dog. So, with that being the case, I'm not giving it really any props for concealed carry either. Honestly, it seems like a bad concealed carry choice. Let's move on to shit hits the fan. While Desert Eagles are popular, yes, they're not as popular as say as a Glock is. A Glock 23, in case y'all are wondering. But they're not as popular as say a Glock is. That's just the truth. So finding parts wouldn't be the easiest. The ammo is not the most common to find at all. Now, what I will say is going for you is that hey, if it's one of the if you have one that's chambered in 357, finding ammo is probably going to be easier than finding 44 Magnum or a 50 AE. So that's good for you, but still not going to be the easiest. The capacity, I guess. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. You don't know what you're gonna run into in an SHTF situation. You really don't know what you're gonna be dealing with, so you want to be prepared for whatever. And having that small capacity isn't very useful. It's not Walking Dead, guys. You're not gonna get headshots every shot. That's just the truth. All right, so now, I mean, hey, we're not looking too good. All right, we're really not. Uh, Now, I do want to point this out. I feel like a lot of people think when I say, "Oh yeah, this firearm isn't good for self-defense in these situations," that you shouldn't get it. I'm not saying that. All right. Okay. For example, 1911s aren't really optimal for any situation nowadays. They're really not. There are much better choices for pretty much every situation when it comes to a pistol than a 1911. Doesn't mean I'm not going to get one. You see what I mean? I'm not shitting on them. I'm just saying for these situations, they are not the most optimal, and they're not. No matter how you want to look at it, they are not. So, moving on from that, let's go ahead and move on to something where it is going to have, a decent little shine. Animal defense. Because of the calibers that the Desert Eagle fires, it is pretty good as far as that goes. Yeah, it is pretty good. I will say there's a certain extent to it. Uh, Honestly, you know what? I wonder what a 50 AE would do to something like, crocodile or an alligator, a large reptile, some with thicker skin, maybe even like a large mammal like a bear. I'm pretty sure, I know 50 AE would probably do a good job on a bear. And I know y'all will probably laugh at when I say, oh, yeah, I know probably. I, when I say I know probably, I think it's obvious that, I'm saying I know that the probability of it is pretty high. I know I don't speak the most intelligent all the time, guys. You got to understand. I grew up in the South. How we generally speak isn't considered the most intelligent. So moving on from that, we can agree that all of those rounds I've listed, which are the most common Desert Eagle rounds, would do the job against, wolf, coyote, aggressive dog, things like that. Yes, I know 44 Magnum would do a good job against a bear. I know 50 AE would do a good job against a bear. 357, I kind of question. I'm not 100% sure myself as far as 357 goes. However, that's neither here nor there. We're looking pretty okay in most situations as far as animal defense goes. You know what I mean? If it's something like maybe an alligator, I would wonder, but I'll be honest with you, most animals, once they get shot, they really don't want to stay around much longer, even if they're not going to die. They're usually wounded. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be every situation. Of course, every situation is different. But you know, hey, if you really feel the need to go hiking and you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna take my 44 Magnum Desert Eagle with me. Do you, dog? You're a grown man. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. Do you? All right. These are all just my opinions, just like all the other fucking ones are. Of course, I want y'all to understand that because there are people who seem to think that I'm claiming to be an expert on any of these, and I never said I'm an expert. So I just want to point all of that out right now because I can already hear the Desert Eagle Dick Riders, the Deagle keyboard warriors, if you will, already commenting down below trying to start shit. I can already hear it. Now, something I brought up in the last video that I want to bring up again. All right, because I'm going to be doing this probably for the next couple videos. We're starting a challenge. Go under Adam's channel, Gun TV. His most recent video, I believe it's about magazine capacity, if I'm not mistaken. You comment down below that you, in particular, want him to start posting again. Because I'm going to be real with you, he hasn't posted in a while. I'm worried about the man. I see him all the time, but I'm like, dude, post. So y'all need to give him that extra oomph. Other than that, y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell. When you hit that bell, hit all. And because you know what? You like Desert Eagles, you don't like them, you think they just look cool, you think they're good for self-defense, you don't think they are, whatever it is, go and check out Adam's channel, the podcast channel, Gun TV, Centerfire Podcast. Y'all know what the deal is. Y'all make sure to stay legal, stay safe, stay dangerous. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.